Hey everybody, no stories this time. Let's just look at the pieces. This is the model, the Stannarts Bruce from Jaws. I've got the base set up. It's actually, there's 22 total pieces here. All this is going to coalesce in just a few pieces. You can customize it. He's made this where when you put the frame inside the body, of course that helps hold the tail on and everything, that you can actually add more wires and hoses. But he's produced enough hoses and things that function straight to the model. They interact with the base and whatnot. He's got the head, the lower jaw, and both inner, I call it the lower jaw with the tongue. He's got that, and it rests in there quite securely actually. And then you've got the palate with the upper teeth, and it goes into here. It's really pretty cool. It nests quite well. So when you put all this together, I mean, look at that. You've got the shark. Now I'm making a couple of changes, not alterations so much. It comes with one pectoral fin that goes on the other side. Let's call it the real side of the body. This side is open, of course, just like the real one. And then there's this, and the pectoral fin goes here. It actually slides on and would almost stay in place, so you can see it. I'm going to sculpt another fin because I want it to look more like it did in the shark cage sequence. And there was a fin over here. You could see them on both sides when they filmed it. Okay, also, I'm going to make a couple of minor alterations. I've already done a little bit already. I dremeled into the upper part of the mount where that piece attaches, and it sets inward a little more. You don't quite see as much of the gum. And then I've changed, or I will be altering, the set of the mouth where it actually comes forward a little more. Bruce's mouth in the movie, it's more like a bear trap. It's not so much like a real shark. So all the setback of the lower jaw, which is on a real shark, is it's a nice look for the model, and I like it. And there's nothing wrong with the model as it is. But if you want one to look a little bit more like that bear trap look, where this meets closer to the teeth, I mean, it was a machine. It just they wanted the teeth to mesh. So I'm just going to bump it forward a little bit. I'm going to have to use putty and whatnot. And then when you see it on there, it's just a little more like Bruce looked. They didn't film from this side as much, although I'm still going to paint that to look kind of like the Quint eating shark. He very much was the other, it was the other shark. It would have been the left to right shark where this side was open. Yeah, everything in Jaws, the sharks were made for different scenes. This one was used, and you'll see it when I point it out. The closed side attacked the cage. That's the Hooper cage swim by. So you've got the open side, so it went by, and the cage attack, right? It also was up and tilted when it was underneath Brody, when he was on the mast at the end and was lunging for Brody. So that's another reason I can tell that I need to move this forward, is when I look at the Brody shots, But again, that's no slight to David and Laurel Stan for the way they did it. I love what they did, and I would be totally happy with it as it was. I've just for 50 years waited to have one, and I just want some little nuances. Plus, I want the mouth a little more closed. I like that slightly more. I like the more shadow, and I like it slightly more closed look. I've never been a big nut about the wide open attacking shark pose. And that's how most of the models are that are out there, the figures and models that people produce. The head's almost tilted up with a, with a wide open mouth. And that's fine. It looks like the junkyard shark, which you can measure and get it really accurate. And which is, I shouldn't call it junkyard shark anymore. It's now the museum shark. And the museum shark, forgive my shaking camera and whatnot. I don't have a tripod. I've had to use a makeshift tripod here. But the museum shark, which was a fiberglass casting, which was used in Universal Studios a lot, they hung it and people could get photos and stuff. It lasted a long, long time. Thank God they did it. It's the only record of the shape of the shark that was ever produced, really. So we have it's magic that we have that. It's just amazing we have that. It's just luck and chance and the fight of a lot of people to save the shark that we have it. But none of the mechanical sharks exist, and none of those except on film and in photos, and we have to do the best we can to kind of get the models and figures the way we want them. In quick comment though, one of the many reasons I'm so excited about this one is all of the features in the surface of this particular model are not only incredibly accurate, even the level of the eye to the body and the scars and everything. It's just when David, Stan, and his wife got to studying the interior of all this, the pieces, the things that they had to think a little bit from the inside out. A lot of sculptors that do sharks for Bruce, they don't necessarily do that. So when David was working on the sculpture, these lumps and things, these folds that are in there, are there so that the plastic can flex and bend. This wasn't a very flexible material, so they had to put these bumps in there to give it somewhere to go when it bent. And there was machinery underneath it. There was stuff that made it work. So, Bruce has always been a little bit lumpy. It's one of the, of course he's got the jowls, but he's always been a little lumpy. And to get that right is a trick. And to get the proportions of the upper head and the length of the snout and all that right, it's not easy. I mean, I've looked at this thing for 50 years nearly, and let me tell you, I commend anybody that tries, and I love all the models that are out there, but I have been patient and waited, and this is my favorite. This is my favorite one that's come to pass, and it's about 20 inches long. You can see it's got amazing lines. Let's get him in there. There we go. It really looks great. The fin shapes are incredible. The proportions are incredible. I mean, there's not enough I can say. Even the tail, the design of the tail. There's a famous picture of Richie Helmer, who was one of the Chew crew that made the actual original shark, and he's standing next to one of these, the tail, and they're fabricating it, and he's goofing for the camera. And this thing's nearly 6 feet tall in real life. It's about the size of a man, and it's like the shape is perfect. So yes, I'm just astounded at all this. I can't wait to put it all together. This goes here. It connects to the inner body. This is the lift mechanism that raised and lowered the shark. Various and sundry hoses that go in there. Again, part of the arm that holds the shark up. Pistons, things like that. So 22 total pieces. The kindest thing he could have done was to mold all this as one. That's incredible. It's very cool. And the body is 2 halves. You can open this, do stuff. So this is the Stannarts Bruce Shark, the pieces. And I'm going to take some time. I'm going to work on the base first, work my way up, do the interior, of course, work on this head and the adaptations I want to do on the head, and get him all together, and then savor that exterior paint, and I'll be done. So it's going to take a few weeks, I'm sure. The next video for this series, it may not be my next video, but it will be a little while, but it will be out. And I'm going to savor it. I mean, this many years waiting it's a big deal for me. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you are even thinking of getting this model, I say don't wait. If you can get it, grab it. Get it. I mean, one day, I know he's going to do a few that are probably already pre-painted. He's not selling the file. I don't believe you can get the files and cut this, print it yourself. If I did, I would make one about 1/3 larger so it would go with my NECA people. Come on, NECA, get with it with your scale shark. And if it doesn't look this good, I won't buy it anyway. So anyhow, that's enough about that. I won't pick on NECA anymore. They've done some wonderful figures. Awesome shark, awesome stuff. Can't wait to do it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, comment, anything you want to ask, do it. And we'll talk to you next time, whenever that may be.